everybody? Welcome back to Left Side, Strong Side. I'm Chance Ellison, joined by my co-host, Mike Deacon. And which way am I pointing? That way. And we are here to talk about all the action of the NFL Week 12. It's kind of crazy how fast the season is flying by.
It's insane how fast the season's gone by.
Yeah, things are happening. Moves are going. Teams are making playoff contenders, Super Bowl contenders, and we're here to break all that action down. But not just us. We are expanding the Left Side, Strong Side family. We have a new. Well, I don't know if it's our son or our brother, but we have a new member of the team, and I'm pretty sure y'all know who it is. I come from a land. You know what? I tried so hard to find a clip of Steve saying "crikey," but I couldn't find anything usable. But yes, Jacob Blunden is going to be joining Left Side Strong Side full time from now on.
Sweet. I'm really glad to be here. Thank you.
Of course. All right, let's not waste any more time. Let's get into all the games this week. Starting off with our Thanksgiving triple header. First of which we got the Buffalo Bills staying in Detroit, taking on the actual home team, the Detroit Lions. And yeah, this is a stressful game for Bills fans. You can get to that.
I woke up halfway through the game because it was on at 3 a.m. in the morning, and on a Friday I was like, I'm sleeping in. So I woke up halfway through, and let me just tell you, I was stressed, and it was more stressful than watching the USA this morning. Because you just were like, you've got it. Don't blow this. And they did, and then they didn't. And I just, this team. Okay, honestly, the Bills aren't making the Super Bowl this year. They're not making the Super Bowl.
No, like I want them to make it, and I want them to lose, just because the first team in history to lose. First team in history to lose 5 Super Bowls.
AFC teams winning this year. Like the NFC is that terrible. It's not. The NFC is not winning. But
I mean, we'll get to it later. But yeah, no. Josh Allen, MVP Josh Allen is gone. Rookie Josh Allen, however, back in full force. Wild inaccuracy and costly turnovers abound.
I don't know what. Like all I'm praying for is Thursday night, Friday for me is that he's playing the Patriots and he just comes back into Josh Allen. He comes back. He just goes, oh, cool. No, I'm back. I can play this game again. I can have a no punt game again. And we get that. Because at the moment, I don't know. They're a bad team.
I wouldn't say they're bad. They're just like not playing. They're not playing to their potential, and like also being wrecked by injuries. Like again, This is a team that needs Trey White back badly.
Oh yeah. But their defense can't stop any. It's the Achilles heel last year, and then Josh isn't able to bail them out the way he did last year, and that's what's happening. Josh isn't able to get the last minute bailout that he has been last season, and it's costing them games. I don't know if they're going to beat Miami. I don't know if they're going to beat this Jets team. Like I really like. There is a serious chance they don't win a division game.
Possible.
Which is terrifying.
The bigger, obviously the Josh Allen storyline is very apparent. For me in this game, the bigger concern with the Bills was the lack of a run game. You're playing Detroit, who has struggled against the run all season, and they couldn't get anything going. Like, that was alarming to me.
Yeah, the fact that, again, Josh Allen, again, their leading rusher, which, again, if you want to be a contender for years, you got to stop that shit. You really have to stop it. Singletary, not too bad, 74 yards on the ground. Not awful, but again, you're playing Detroit. How are you not like in triple digits? How do you not have one guy in triple digits?
Given what the 49ers had to give up to get McCaffrey, I don't understand why the Bills didn't.
Did they? Oh, they did at the Capitol too. That's the weird thing.
Like I don't get why
Capital.
It's a first round pick. That's all they wanted. Mm-hmm. They wanted a first round pick. A first and a second, or a first and a fifth, or something. Like, why on earth just don't. They needed a run game, and they don't have one. And there isn't a solution to this right now.
Speaking of run game, I think we have like officially seen Jamal Williams just eclipse.
Where did this come from? Like, he has more touchdowns this season than he did his entire career as a Packer.
How did this happen? Which, funny enough, DeAndre Swift did have a flashback back to his rookie season as well. He had a touchdown. He had it. He was right there, and he fucking dropped it again.
Yep.
But if you remember, his very first game when the Lions, I'm not sure the Lions are playing the Bears. He had it. He had it in his hands. He catches the ball. The Lions win, and he fucking dropped it. It was painful to watch, but yeah. Fantasy owners of DeAndre Swift, I don't envy being you.
Well, the fantasy owner of DeAndre Swift in the What the Show League is currently in first place. So
does PJ have DeAndre Swift?
He does.
Holy shit! But fantasy
Wait. PJ's winning your freaking fantasy.
PJ is like a juggernaut.
Yeah. I don't know how it happened, but yes, he is. PJ is winning.
Season of chaos. This really is the season of chaos.
Yes, the season where PJ is winning fantasy football. But yeah, also, fantasy owners are feasting. Anyone who had Amon-Ra St. Brown. Amon-Ra St. Brown, again.
PJ.
Legitimate. Does he have him too?
Yep.
God fucking damn it. Okay, the point is, Amon-Ra St. Brown, like we said on the show, like, I'll say it again. He's making a legitimate case for being the best receiver in his division, not named Justin Jefferson.
Who else is it? I wholeheartedly agree.
Watson's maybe got an argument in the last 2 weeks, but that's it.
I mean, Watson could get there, but like, I do think it's funny. Like, you guys heard the story, but like, he had like a list of every receiver drafted in front of him, and every time the game ends, he just goes and talks shit to that guy, just like, dude, like it's not his fault. Go find the GM. Talk to him.
He's got the proper chip on his shoulder right now for a guy like that. And once they have St. Brown and Jameson Williams together, that's going to be a fun team to watch.
And also maybe when they get rid of Jared Goff, because he looked. We got a friendly reminder why the Rams traded him away.
Yeah. And not only that, like the Rams are just gifting Detroit right now with what's going on. The Detroit could be in the very much in the conversation of drafting a quarterback without having to do anything, thanks to the Rams.
It's true.
Yeah.
But my question is for the Lions, because they had 2 first-round picks. I know they need a quarterback, which is probably what they're going to do with their whatever higher draft pick they have. Or okay, do you do quarterback and defense, or you double defense? Because granted, they do need a quarterback badly. Their defense is really bad, though.
If they don't have to move, the quarterback is in question. If they have to make any kind of move whatsoever, I think it's defense, because they could trade that pick down probably because there's like 5 or 6 teams looking for quarterbacks. If they get like the number 4 pick and somebody's saying, hey, we'll give you 2 firsts for it, you do it.
But yeah, the Bills win and become the first team to win back-to-back home games at Ford Field since 2016.
Isn't that wild?
Or back-to-back games.
Back-to-back games. Yeah, back-to-back games.
Back-to-back home games. But yes, that's just hilarious to me. All right, moving on. Turkey Bowl Part 2. We had the Giants taking on the Cowboys. This was a game that I think this kind of spoke to maybe the Giants aren't as good as we thought they were.
I don't think they ever were. Like they were the supreme overachievers of the early season, and a lot of it. Part of it was due to schedule. If you look at the beginning of their schedule, they didn't play very deep defenses. You know, the teams they were playing were Saquon was running wild. And now their schedule is starting to get a little bit more difficult. And for the longest time, they were going with Daniel Jones barely being able to pass the ball and just somehow eking out these last-minute wins. It's not going. This type of play is not going to carry over
that way.
Especially with the way the Commanders are starting to come on right now. The Giants might finish 4th after that insane start. They very well could finish 4th in their division.
I have got them finishing 4th in their division. The biggest surprise out of this game for me was the Cowboys' run defense actually stood up a little bit.
They did. They held Saquon to under 40 yards on the ground. That's just that.
Yeah,
he's been great this season.
And yeah, and he's been the only reason the Giants were any good this year. But that's a big story. That is, now given how poorly they performed against the Packers and that run defense against the Packers, like that run defense was always their Achilles heel in the defense. Like they pass and rush was amazing. Running was their big problem. And look, see how they go next week against who the Cowboys play. They play the Colts. So if they can stop Jonathan Taylor next week, then
for some reason still on Sunday night.
We'll get there.
But like that, so we'll see what happens there. I guess this can be one of my. I'll give one of my takes here. All four of them are making the playoffs.
No, I don't see that happening.
Here's all that needs to happen. Mm-hmm. The Eagles have clinched. I know they technically haven't, but they have.
They're in.
The Cowboys need to win 2 against the Colts, Texans, Jags, Eagles, Titans, or Washington.
They've got that. Easy.
The Giants have to win 2 against Washington, Colts, Washington, Eagles, Vikings, Cowboys.
That one's a question mark.
Yeah, I'm not sure Jack can pull this off.
I've got them beating Colts and splitting Washington.
With Washington, that's a fair guess.
Let me see how these standings shake out via the conference. Where are they at right now?
Hang on 1 sec. Let me finish this.
Okay.
Washington have to win 2 as well. They go Giants, Browns, 49ers, Giants, Cowboys. I've got them splitting Giants and beating Browns.
The that's going to be interesting to see. I like where your head's at on that. Right now, I think the Commanders are they're one of the grittiest and toughest teams to play right now. I wouldn't want to play against them right now at all.
Yeah. And then the last thing that has to happen, the thing that could spoil it all, is the Seahawks have to lose 4 games. And we can talk about that. We can talk about that when we get.
Given how they're playing now, it's possible.
Yeah, I'll talk about the 4 teams that they can lose when we get to that game. But Cowboys didn't blow it. I was shocked. Fourth quarter Cowboys, they didn't blow it.
They did play pretty well. I mean, the defense played really well. Dak was like, eh.
He was fine.
There's like a just go. They're like a well-oiled machine. Like the defense is well-oiled enough that like the offense doesn't do anything. Kind of like Tampa Bay 2 years ago. Brady's had to stand there while the defense wrecked worlds.
Yeah.
That's all he had to do. All right, moving on to our next game, our concluding chapter of Turkey Bowl. We had the Patriots taking on the Vikings. This is a game that I had my eye on because it was Kirk Cousins in prime time, and for a while, he was proving everyone right. For a while.
This was Kirk Cousins wasn't amazing, but he did in the second half really stood up and went, all right. Jefferson, oh my God. How the hell teams let Jefferson fall as far as he did, I will never understand, and that is going to forever be the biggest question mark.
He was, I think, the 3rd receiver taken, which is kind of wild.
Yeah. Well, Jaeger was before him, which is the single dumbest decision.
Rager
was the single dumbest decision the Eagles have ever made, and that's saying something.
That's why they drafted Devontae Smith because of Jalen Rager.
And then who was the one before him?
No, he might have the 4th taken actually. Because I think it was Ruggs, Judy, Rager.
That's right,
Ruggs. And then
Ruggs was the first one.
Ruggs was first. That's right. Yeah. Oh man, the Raiders definitely regret that one.
Well, the Raiders forget a lot of stuff from the last couple of years. Let's just say that right now.
The biggest takeaway for me from this game was this is Mac Jones' best game of his career.
Yeah,
he was sensational.
He played well, but he's still he played well. He's still such a bore to watch. I understand.
He stood up to them though. He stood up in
stood up.
No, given the amount of crap he's gotten over the last month, he stood up. He played well. I would be using Mac instead of Zappy at the moment. I think Mac is playing well enough to guarantee his starting role.
Yeah, I mean, in some aspects, he played a little bit better than Kirk Cousins, as far as getting the ball down the field and stuff like that. What were you saying, Mike?
With the combination, Hunter Henry had one of his better games of the season.
Oh, By the way, speaking of Hunter Henry, no, you're good now. You just lost you for a second. There was a pass that Mac Jones threw to Hunter Henry that was ruled. It was toward the end zone, ruled not a catch, and every single Steeler fan rejoiced. This is long-standing karma. Jesse James caught the ball, and you know what? If he caught the ball, Hunter Henry would have caught the ball. So I don't want to hear dick from Patriots fans. All right, you made your bed, lie in it, fucking evil bastards.
The Hunter Henry and Ramondre Stevenson, basically, both of them really stepped up their game with Jones this week. The chemistry those two had with him was something they hadn't seen. Their wide receivers played okay. Devontae Parker actually had a fairly decent game.
He did.
But the Patriots are, if they had a slightly better quarterback, they could be a legitimate, I'm not going to say a contender because the AFC is so strong right now. But like them making the playoffs will not seem like an uncertainty. Like right now, they wouldn't be in it if the season ended right now.
They're on the bubble right now.
They would be the first team out. So
yeah,
I've got a second team out.
Maybe.
Jets are in front of them. Oh, sorry, right now. Sorry, no, yeah. Jets are in.
Jets are in right now.
Yeah, Jets have in right now if it ended. Patriots are one below the Jets.
Patriots would be the last team out.
Okay.
Yeah, so like they're Jets are at 7, Patriots are at 8, so they would make it in. But yeah, if they had like a better quarterback, I think that they probably have stood a better chance. I don't think they'd be like they'll be world beaters or anything.
Right,
that's in a better chance. So.
If they were in the NFC, they'd be like the 4th seed.
Absolutely,
it's insane.
Well, speaking of Patriots, let's go to our Sunday slate. Let's talk about the former Patriots, Tom Brady and the Buccaneers taking on another former Patriot, funny enough, Jacoby Brissett and the Browns.
Had this in consideration for upset of the week for a little bit there, but just the way that the Bucs have been playing lately, it's like I guess it's really not that much. But no, because how did the Bucs look inept?
Mike, remember how we said Tom Brady looks? Oh, the weight's off his shoulders. He's playing better. They're gonna go on this big run to the Super Bowl. Not playing like this, they won't.
Look, I've been the one who's saying that I think that the Bucs were going to go on a big run. Yeah, nah. If their first game is against the Cowboys,
they'll get steamrolled.
Oh yeah, I'm not taking that bet.
Again, if I'm the Cowboys, I'm a little worried.
This team beat the Cowboys earlier this year.
Yeah, again, I'm a little worried if I'm the Cowboys playing them, but this team's not good. They're just not a good team. This bad coaching. This was bad coaching. Really bad 2-minute drive coaching.
Remember how bad Todd Bowles was head coach of the Jets?
Terrible. Yep.
We're getting reminders of why he hasn't been a head coach since.
Yeah, 100%.
That's what this is. This is just bad coaching, and again, you can put this on Brady. I as a Brady fan, I will 100% go. This is on Brady for forcing, what's his name out, and because Arians. I wanted Arians out because he wanted to control the offense. Well,
you gotta control the offense. You ain't doing dick.
Nah, because this has not been good. Like that. When the Browns are going down, we're going down to score the touchdown. That was ineptitude, time management, and then on Brady. Hey, we're gonna throw. I'm Tom Brady with less than a minute to go get a field goal to win it, and we've got 3 timeouts. Oh, we're just gonna let 30 seconds go off the clock, and we're gonna play for overtime.
Yeah,
what are you doing?
I'm not sure why that was the decision, especially because you're also playing a Joe Woods defense.
Yeah,
right.
You're Tom fucking Brady. You do this for dinner. This is literally how you made your name. What are you doing?
And he just said, nah. And yeah, they played for overtime in which they lost via big chunk plays to both Amari Cooper and Nick Chubb.
For the Bucs, though, the insult to injury, injury to insult is what it should be because Tristan Wirfs going down now is
that's
huge.
Their best, even healthy, he was their best O lineman. Now he's gone.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, this the rest of the season could be a disaster. And as someone who hates Tom Brady, I'm happy to see it.
Well, look, what happens is if they start falling off a cliff again, and the Falcons start playing decently,
this division's wide. Any of these four teams,
any of these four teams go in. That's the thing. Any team in this division could. I
cannot see the one I cannot see is Saints.
I mean, we're not crazy, but like mathematically speaking,
mathematically, yeah. But
talent-wise, another question. But like mathematically, it could happen.
Yeah, I just Saints are the one I could see the Panthers going on a run with Sam Darnold if he decides, hey, I can actually throw the fucking ball. Like
something else that I've been noticing over the past couple of weeks. This might be the first season where Mike Evans doesn't get 1,000 yards. I mean, I know we had a couple games left. He could make it happen, but like, keep in mind, Mike Evans has entered the league. He has never had a season with less than 1,000 yards.
In his ninth year or something? Like
ninth, yeah.
And yeah, that's an insane stat. He is low key like one of the most he's a superstar, but people don't realize how good he is because he's never been like the outright stats leader in any given year. But that is the mark of consistency. And that is a huge stat you bring up there, Chance, because when you have somebody like that who's done it year in and year out consistently,
in my opinion, like Mike Evans is one of the best receivers in the NFL right now, and I think he's a Hall of Fame receiver.
Mm-hmm.
I think the dude is that good. But like, yeah, he is like he's just like not getting touches this year, and it's a little concerning because I would like to see him continue that streak, but this might be the first time he doesn't do it. Moving on to our next game, we have the Bengals versus the Titans. This is a rematch of the AFC, not wild card, but divisional
games last year. Yeah,
yeah, because like because Titans ended up being the number 1 seed.
Yeah, not wild.
Yeah, so strange. This game was competitive. Here's the thing with this, and for Derrick Henry, that stat line is deceptive because his biggest run of the day didn't count.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, like he busted out like a 60-yard run, but he dropped the ball. It ended up leading to Treylon Burks' first career touchdown.
Yep. That was the most ridiculous touchdown vulture I've seen this year.
Yeah.
That was insane. That was actually like somewhat embarrassing, but at the same time amazing.
Yeah, no, like it's great. I feel bad for Henry because he did end up losing the rushing leader title to somebody else we'll get to later. Which I mean, the guy who beat him deserves it. But yeah, I do love King Henry. Bengals are looking a little lost without Jamar Chase. I mean, Joe Burrow is managing, but they're looking a little lost without him.
Yeah, they are, but he's back next week.
Mm.
The fact that they haven't lost every game, they're still in it.
They're still in it. Yeah,
they're in the playoffs right now.
Yeah,
I mean, to me, I think they're going to get it over the Ravens. Like, I think the Bengals are. I know that they've got the harder schedule, but they're winning the hard games, and the Ravens are blowing the easy games. So, like, I don't know what more you can say than they're in. The Bengals, to me, are the ones who are in the hot seat. This game this weekend is going to be a big test, but this game itself, I thought they handled themselves pretty well, given they're down their best wide receiver and their best running back.
What we saw this week from Tennessee is basically what we said at the end of last season. If they only had a quarterback,
right?
Yeah,
because like their failure to get anything going passing wise is the reason they lost.
Low key,
what?
Low key, if Green Bay do decide to move on,
Tennessee's not a bad destination for Aaron Rodgers.
I think I'm on pace with you on that.
This is the team to go to because they're not going to trade in conference,
right? And
the only other ones to go to are in conference. This is the team, and he's not going to the Jets ever.
No,
like that ain't. He's not like not even if the Jets were the team and they offered 10 fucking first rounders, he won't because of Favre. It's just straight up. He won't do it because of Favre.
The literal exact career path. You were 100% right.
It won't happen.
Yeah. But like, yeah, you want just a sense of like the failure of the Titans in the passing game. Derrick Henry was their best receiver.
Yeah.
Derrick Henry. Yeah. If they could develop a passing game again, like they really need Malik Willis to develop. They really need it.
Yeah.
I mean, look, he's not ready yet. He could very well be ready next year.
I don't know about that.
That's about it for this game. Moving on to our next one. The Great Tank of Houston rolls on as the Texans take on the Dolphins.
That was the hardest. It's the worst first half of football I've seen by any team this year, I think.
Oh my god! Like this first half was horrendous. They were down 30-0 at the end of the second quarter. 30-0.
Embarrassing games of football I've ever watched. You're just like, this is a NFL team playing a high school team, and this is basically. And
I've seen XFL teams play better than this.
Like this was all but, hey, can we put in a mercy rule? Yeah. This is the closest I've ever gotten to actually being like, legit, we need a mercy rule, because who's wanting this right now? Honestly, like, who was sitting there going, we're going to watch this Dolphins Texans second half?
Yeah, I feel really bad for Texans fans right now, because General Mills is gone. Kyle Allen's in at quarterback. Didn't do much better.
Well, they can look forward to picking first. They're on the clock pretty much.
Like they are. Just take Bryce Young now.
Yeah.
Just on the other side of the ball, though, we do gotta acknowledge what granted they're playing like a glorified SEC team. Got to acknowledge what Miami did well. Tua's still looking great. The offense under him playing a lot better. I think like they're like a bona fide Super Bowl contender on like based on strength of that offense. Even the defense. Again, I know it's Houston. Even based on that defense, like they're playing well. They held Damian Pierce, who's one of the more electric rookie backs in the league right now, to under 20 yards. Mm-hmm. It's really good.
They are a very good team, the Dolphins. They are. I'm still not 100% sold on Tua. I'm not. The MVP conversations for Tua are way too early, and I know it's going to happen, but it's.
I mean, we're pretty much at like the exact right spot. We're 12 weeks in, Jacob.
No. Okay, sorry. Where I'm saying, sorry, not early. I think he's third, and like,
okay, there.
Like, I'll give you that.
I think there's 1 and 2, and he is third. Yeah.
I think he's definitely in the conversation.
Yeah, no, I look.
You're just the talent spot.
Them playing next week now in primetime against Herbert is.
The storyline behind that is something, yeah.
No, but that's now a big deal in the MVP conversation because Mahomes doesn't have another primetime game in regular season.
Not.
So no, that's it. They just took out his last one.
They just happened about an hour ago.
Yeah. Really? The Broncos Chiefs game just got flexed out for
Miami Chargers is now the Sunday night game.
That's a big deal in the MVP race, which I think is ridiculous because Mahomes is far and away the MVP personally. Like he is far and away the best. I still think Hurts is going to get it, but yeah.
I mean, Hurts. We'll talk about Hurts later, but Hurts deserves it. Aside from that, yeah, I mean, Houston. Oh, I salute your tank.
Are they officially eliminated?
Nope.
Oh my god,
it's as wild as it is because they're also in a terrible division. Isn't that nuts?
No,
I think if they lose one more, they mathematically can't catch Tennessee.
I think so. But yeah, moving on to our next one. Mike, you got your boys up on the back as they took on the Bears, and there's one phrase going around all of New York this weekend.
Bad power.
Mike motherfucking White. Here's the thing. This week had 9 NFL starting quarterbacks that were not starting week 1.
Right.
That's like a league record. This one, Justin Fields was not playing for the Bears due to injury, and Zach Wilson was not playing because he just sucked the life out of everything. So yes, we had the return of Mike White, and we're getting reason why. Maybe he should have been starting the whole time.
Okay, all right, hanging. Okay, Zach Wilson is a bad quarterback. Yeah. Absolutely, he is a bad quarterback. I am getting Groundhog Day deja vu. I've seen this movie before. We did it last year.
We did. So Mike White's going to go off a cliff next week. But
Mike White's going to get hurt in the first quarter if it's Groundhog's Day. He's getting hurt in the first quarter.
Like, we've seen this movie, guys. Until next week, then I'll start going, oh shit, maybe Mike White is legit.
Okay, but wait, now, Jacob, counterpoint.
Bad power.
Right now, I've seen this movie before. The Bears have the worst defense in the league. This isn't a great win. Now, it's a big win.
Jets fan will take it.
No, I know. Okay, it is a great win for Jets fans, and it is a big win in terms of we can make the playoffs. But this isn't a Mike White is our future win. This is a, hey, Mike White is the placeholder until we get a quarterback next year, which is most likely going to be Garoppolo.
That's who I've been fully expecting, because it's San Francisco's coaching staff. He knows the system. He comes right into it.
Yeah.
But getting to a few points from the game, obviously Mike White brought a spark to certain players on the team that were not there for either Flacco or Zach. Immediate chemistry with Elijah Moore, which first thing, Elijah Moore was distant. He only had 2 catches, but
at long last, he's like getting the ball.
Yeah. And the bigger thing, the Michael Carter goes down, and James Robinson, which for reasons that still have not been fully disclosed, was inactive. And Zonovan Knight, Bam Knight.
Like, listen to how banged up are you? Because let's see, like, who the fuck is Zonovan Knight?
They've been hyping him up. Obviously, I follow the Jets hardcore, so I've known the name for a while. He was kind of a preseason. Everyone kind of fell in love with him, and he was on the practice squad, and they wanted to get an opportunity for him. I'm still not 100% certain what the hell happened with James Robinson, but Bam Knight looked good. I'm not, especially if Carter's there, if they have him as a complimentary back, I'm totally fine with that. But I wanted to look on the other side of the ball. Chicago, first things first. Trevor Siemian got knocked out in pregame warmups. Then 3 minutes before the game, got renamed the starter.
Named the starter again. It was because I so wanted to watch this game with Nathan Peterman.
Yeah. Oh my God, that would have been even worse. But for the Bears, though, they lost Mooney. Like this season is just done for the Bears.
Yeah.
They have nothing else to go for except for.
Oh, you're upset that I'm not calling? Well, you know what, Mom? I'm upset that you made me a Bears fan. Mm-hmm. That's child abuse.
They're picking number 2, I think. The Houston's going to get the number 1 pick. The Bears are going number 2. And they're going to get a ransom.
I don't know. I don't see the Broncos winning another game this season. So.
We'll get to that later. But I do want to acknowledge this. And people, I'm going to give myself a single right now. This play, I don't know how to do it. But this game gave us one of the greatest things I've seen in the history of football. And I'm not exaggerating. This might be the play of not just the year, but the decade. Roll the clip.
His first one with the Jets. Great, and he's in trouble. It's still loose. Nope. And here comes Jones.
I don't. What is ball security?
I mean, yes, granted, it was raining at that game, but just everything about that play was like every fundamental thing you learn in Pop Warner TV play just went out the window there.
Yeah, I know. Ball security. Hold it like the two arm grab. What the fuck are those? That like single handedly made that game. I want to put that game of the week, this game of the week, just for that play. But what we do have. Mike White, you are our Stonks player of the week.
Yeah, 3 touchdowns.
Just coming in and just doing something with a football, which Zach Wilson could not.
And he didn't take 18 steps backwards every single snap, so that already is an improvement.
All right.
Yeah.
Moving on to our next game.
Mike White is better than Zach Wilson. I agree. He's not. And that alone is why he should be the starter, and I agree with that. Let's just pump the brakes on Mike White is the next coming of Christ.
Might be. He might be. Well, I mean, no. There are other next coming to Christ, which we'll talk about later. But and then play with Pittsburgh. Now, next game we're talking about is the Falcons versus the Commanders. And before we even get into the game, we need to talk about this real quick. It was announced that there was going to be an unveiling of a Sean Taylor statue at FedEx Field. Oh, y'all want to see the statue?
Hope you're hungry for nothing.
I just
not
love
a statue. It's a fucking mannequin.
with wire arms.
Like, you couldn't even get like a solid mannequin. No, you just have a display for a jersey and that's it.
So I know it's funny, and I know that it's like, oh my god, Zach's.
It's funny for anybody who's not a Washington fan.
Right.
It's disgusting.
That is terrible.
Actually horrifically disgusting. And yeah, that honestly is just so disrespectful and just Snyder sell the fucking team.
I don't know what Sean Taylor did to the organization, because every time they try to do something for him, it massively backfires, whether it's the jersey retirement last season or this.
Because they use him as a distraction. They use it as, hey,
fucked up. Why is it always Sean Taylor?
Because who else? Who else in recent
history?
Recent history. I'm like, is Joe Theismann's jersey retired?
Well, okay, but like, who else in recent Washington history that is actually going to cause some level of distraction? Because that's the only reason they do it, is to cause some distraction because Snyder said something racist or homophobic or was just a fucking asshole, and they need to cause a distraction. So pull out the Sean Taylor bucket. That's why they do it, and they don't actually care.
And maybe they do next time. Do a public apology to RG3.
Yeah, I'm sorry we screwed up your entire career.
Yeah, we're sorry. All right, but going to the actual game. Look, the commies are looking. We've said it before, looking significantly better under Taylor Heineke than they did under Carson Wentz.
They certainly are.
Sorry,
they're playing with abandon. They're playing with purpose. They're playing with heart. Something that they never did under Commander Carson.
The coach actually likes him.
Yeah, that's true.
Clearly, Ron Rivera clearly likes Heineke. He's just he knows that Heineke. I would fascinated to know what the reasoning behind getting Wentz was, and who made the call, because I can guarantee you it wasn't Rivera.
No,
and it's embarrassing. The whole thing is just embarrassing.
Yeah, conversely, though, this was a game that Atlanta really needed to win, and they couldn't pull it out. Which, I mean, again, we just keep saying it, but like, should they just put in Ritter? I know the season's still up in the air, but do you stand a better chance with Ritter or Mariota at this point?
Mariota's like a bottom 4 quarterback of the 32 starters right now, I would say, and they keep sticking with him because they think he's, how bad is Ritter? That is the question right now.
Yeah,
it can't be that much worse.
Is Ritter actually bad? Is my question.
Yeah.
Well, he might be. Again, the problem you've got is all these quarterbacks are in the 3rd round. So, what do you do? I don't. I'm especially the Falcons, given they are so close because the Bucs haven't gone away with it. I guarantee you, if the Bucs won this game, Falcons probably do consider putting Ritter in. But because the Bucs are so close to it, you're actually got a fighting chance. So I think that's why. I think because they're like, we've got a fighting chance at actually making the playoffs, because the NFC sucks so much. It's so bad.
I mean, we're getting almost certainly getting a losing record in the playoffs this year. Almost certainly with this division.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, remember 2 years ago when Washington got in with a 6-10 record?
6-10 they got in, and
7-9. That was their record, 7-9.
Yeah, it was the Seahawks years back that got in 6-10.
Yeah, Seahawks got in with 6-10. Washington got in with 6-9.
7-9.
7-9. Sorry, 7-9.
Yeah. Conversely, though, we gotta give big props to Brian Robinson of the Washington Commies, like that dude who was literally fucking shot twice before the season even started. Had his first 100-yard game
and a receiving touchdown.
Yeah,
He played well. Like I said, this team's playing. Like Washington are going to be a hard out. If depends who they play in the first round of the playoffs.
Agreed.
I tell you what, Washington versus Vikings, that's not a guarantee win. That is not Washington versus Vikings on Monday Night Football.
Nothing made me laugh harder than the playoff aspirations of the Vikings being ended by the fucking Washington Commies.
No, that is not an easy win. That is not going to be a guaranteed win. And I'm not overly convinced that Washington is going to be this easy win for any team except maybe the 49ers. Like I think 49ers could beat them pretty handedly.
The 49ers are the toughest team. That's in the NFC. That's the toughest team I think to beat right now.
Oh yeah, either them or the Eagles. Like I think they're the two toughest teams.
Well, thing is, like you need their offense to excel, like to be like upper echelon teams. You need the offense to excel a little more, and I'm not sure that's possible.
Right. I mean that is a valid point because do the Commanders have the firepower to keep up? For multiple games in the playoffs.
Yeah, because look, I know they beat the Eagles, but I treat it more to the Eagles losing than them winning. I don't think they have to beat the Cowboys. I don't think they have what it takes to beat I mean, they could beat the Vikings. They could beat the Vikings. I just don't think they have what it takes to do it. Like I think there are going to be things holding this team back from going all the way. They're not an easy win, but I don't think I'm not horrified at the prospect of facing them.
No, I think it's going to be very much like when Tampa beat them, where we're in this game for 4 quarters and it came down to a miracle pass at the end of the game for Brady to beat them, which was a big win and it was a great win and they deserved it. But it's, I think I just don't know if Cousins is going to have it in him to be able to do that. So, they'll lose week 2 if they go in and then they play the Eagles, they'll lose that, but
they're not losing them in the playoffs. I'm willing to bet money on that.
Yeah, I just think they'll win one. I think there's a serious chance they could win their first playoff game depending on who they play.
Moving on to our next game,
Broncos country. Let's go.
Yes, the Broncos taking on the Panthers, 2 of the biggest disasters on the turf this season. One expected, one nobody saw coming, including me. The nightmare season in Denver continues.
My biggest takeaway from this: a new coach ain't fixing this mess. This is a bigger mess than Hackett. This is a much, much bigger mess, and a new coach ain't fixing it anytime soon. I don't know what the answer is either.
I mean, new coach might not hurt.
They're getting a new coach at the end of the season. Absolutely. Like that's coming, but don't expect Broncos to be a good team next year. Broncos fans right now are in a real rough spot because you've got the single worst contract in the NFL right now.
Absolutely.
And what's the solution? You cannot trade that contract. There is not a team in the NFL who will take that contract right now outside of you then giving up more picks. You being like, have Russell Wilson plus 3 firsts or something, like doing the Jared Goff trade.
They already gave him away for us.
Yeah,
this is the last year they don't have one, so they have one. They'll have them going forward after this year.
But I don't know what the answer is right now, outside of maybe you need to pray to God that this is a bad season for Russ and that next year he bounces back. But I don't know, because he's not running. He needs to start running the ball. And the fact that he's not is scary.
I think he needs someone who's willing to work with Russ, because there's some kind of friction between him and Hackett.
I think there's friction with him and half the team at this point.
Because literally one of them was getting in his face on the sidelines.
And here's the thing, and here's what frustrated me about that was Russ is desperate to be liked by everyone. If every single time you see him in media and everything, he just wants to be liked by everyone. And that isn't happening here, and he can't handle it. And I don't know what it is about Russell Wilson, but that is 2 teams now where the locker room just don't like him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I desperately want to be in a locker room with Russell Wilson. I have to know what that's like.
I would give anything for Hard Knocks to do them next year.
If they head coach, it won't happen. But
it
if
won't.
Because it's not unless they volunteer. If it's a new head coach, they won't be eligible. Yeah. But yes, oh my God, that would be so good.
I would give anything for in season as well. Yeah. Not the preseason one, the in season one, because I want to see.
Might be eligible for
that. They might, but I want to see the in season one where it's like this mess is happening.
Yeah.
But the disaster of a season that is the Denver Broncos this year continues as they lost to the Carolina Panthers, led by Sam Darnold,
who didn't do anything spectacular, but they did just enough. Sam Darnold
completed 11 passes on the day. 11.
And going back to the Broncos, they have one of the best defenses in football and are just being wasted.
They give the argument was proof. The defense has given up. They're done. They're like, nah. This isn't worth it. This isn't worth it. Why? Yeah. Sorry. We're putting in all this effort of being one of the best defenses in the league, and you can't even get 18 points.
Mm-hmm.
We're done. They're done. They've given up. They don't care anymore. They just let the Panthers score 23 points on them. They don't care.
They let DJ Moore come out of his slumber for a week.
Yeah. Like they straight up don't care anymore. And I completely understand it. I wouldn't either. When you have a team that should be honestly, with Russell Wilson at quarterback, should be 8-2.
When we all heard that Russell Wilson was going to the Broncos, we're just like, that makes them a Super Bowl contender.
Yep. With that defense, you should be 8-2, and you should be the second best team in the league right now, and you're not.
Yeah, they are hands down the biggest disappointment on the field this year.
Yes, easy. By far, the single biggest disappointment. I'm furious because I really wanted to see Patrick Mahomes go up against this defense, and by the time that Mahomes is going to play this defense, they don't care anymore, so we're not getting it. And I just...
now, keep in mind, people have been tracking this. Russell, so there's been a track going of, will Russell Wilson throw more TD passes than he has bathrooms in his house? Now, hold on. He's currently at 8. He's at 8 touchdown passes. He has 12 bathrooms in his house. There are 6 games left in the season. So, okay, let's say that. Will he throw 5 more TD passes in the next 6 games?
I think he does, but exactly 5.
Exactly 5. He has exactly 1 more TD than he has bathrooms in his house.
I'm gonna say because of who he's playing.
Right.
He's got like some of the worst defenses in the league coming up. So like he plays the Ravens, who have one of the worst defenses in the league. He has the Chiefs, which are a decent team. Then he plays
throw a lot.
The Cardinals, but they're terrible.
Terrible defense. You can throw on the Cardinals all day.
The Rams, terrible defense right now.
Yep.
That the Rams have given up.
Yep.
And then Chiefs again, and then the Chargers, who you run on, you don't throw on. So
right.
All right.
Yeah, he'll make it.
Mac.
You didn't mention our next game, and our next game is our upset of the week. It is the Ravens versus the Jaguars.
Wow.
What have we been saying about Baltimore all year? They have propensity to just not finish off. They're one of the teams that have the propensity to just not finish off their opponents. It's happened at least 4 times this year. They didn't blow a double-digit lead in this game, but that's only because they didn't get one.
Right.
The biggest lead they ever got in this game was 9.
Still got a 2-point lead, a 2-score lead, though.
It was still a 2-score lead, but it wasn't a double-digit lead. So
no.
Can't make fun of that.
Jaguars team that lost Travis Etienne early in the game. Early in the game, and had to go rely on Jermichael Hasty, who all of a sudden became a receiving machine.
Yeah, if the Jaguars wanted to win this game, they had to For some, they had resorted to throwing the ball, which is weird because the Ravens' run defense not great.
Yeah.
So
But-
they decided to try and win on the arm of Trevor Lawrence, and you know what? The arm of Trevor Lawrence delivered.
One of his best, maybe his best pro game. He played very well.
This
Maybe
is his best program.
yeah.
I think this was Trevor Lawrence's coming out party. This was I'm here. I'm who I was promised to be. Does he live up to it for the rest of the season? We'll see. But hopefully this was his coming out party of, yep, I am as good as advertised.
Yeah, he announced himself.
The Lamar Jackson contract is going to get real fascinating.
Especially after the post game, like
Wow.
his deleted tweet and everything. Oh,
tweet.
wow. Yep.
Well, yeah, and keep in mind, the Ravens were only down by 1 going into the fourth. They gave up a touchdown drive in the final seconds of the game. They're like, you know what? All we have to do is get in a field goal range, and we have Justin Tucker, who literally won a game last year via a literal kick of God. So we're gonna try it again. This time we're going for it. You know, Justin Tucker already holds the record
67.
I think his record 66.
65. 65 was his record.
Right.
That was the kick from last year. 65
he
was last
going for 67
Going
this
for
time.
67. Can he do it again?
There's nothing to it. I believe I can.
No, he cannot.
But I can guarantee you, every single Jag fan watching that game was petrified.
Oh, they
Yeah,
were.
Every
How
single
could
one
you
of them
not
went,
be?
he is getting this kick. Everyone in the world knew he was getting that kick.
No,
There
we're
was
just like, if he does the same thing. First of all, like Justin Tucker, first ballot Hall of Famer. I'll say that right now.
Oh,
First
yeah.
ballot
No
Hall-
argument. No argument.
But even he is human. There's some things even he can't do.
That was like, but it was so close.
It was
the
close.
fact that it just it was on target, everything. It just wasn't long enough. Like, that's insane.
Yeah.
Absolutely insane. And look, I'm not blame this game. I don't blame on Lamar. I do not blame on Justin Tucker missing a 67
No. Like the
fucking
fact
kick.
that your defense puts you in a position where you have to rely on a kick of God to win your game. That's
Yeah.
the problem.
And that's going to be, and that is why if they try and use the fact that, because I don't think the Ravens are making the playoffs. I think they're going to miss out on the playoffs. And I think that the Bengals Ravens game that's in week 18 will be the Sunday night game.
Good
winner
chance
gets
of
in.
it.
I think that's a winner. Winner is in, loser goes home. Like,
It's either going to be that or Jets Dolphins.
yeah. With that being said, Lamar Jackson's not the problem on this team at all.
No.
He is not. That
Look
defense
at their wide
is the
receivers.
problem.
Well, not only that,
And that-
like the rest of their skill players, not named Mark Andrews.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So
because Bateman's still
they're
hurt,
weak.
isn't he?
Yeah,
what has this team done to help him?
nothing.
I get it. They're gonna say, "Oh, but he shouldn't be asking for that amount of money. They can be using that money for something else, for something else, for another player." Blah blah blah. I get it. Congratulations, that's the market. He's gonna go to another team. And
They're going to franchise him for certain, but yeah, you're right.
they're
There's no way.
gonna franchise him, but I don't think he's gonna play on a franchise.
No,
not
there's no future, no reality in which Lamar Jackson plays on the tag. He's not going to do
Which
it.
means they're going to have to trade him. And the problem they're going to have is there's only 2 or 3 people who will make that trade, who legitimately could afford it, that could make that trade tomorrow. And that's Giants, Jets, Titans. I mean, the Lions might, again,
I'm just
The Giants are the team I would look at.
I'm just waiting for the day Lamar Jackson gets out of this division.
yeah.
Somebody take him. I don't care. Like Ravens.
How does it feel having how does it feel having the 4th worst quarterback in that division, though?
I mean, look, Kenny Pickett will get there. Kenny Pickett will be. He's gonna be better than Joe Burrow.
piss off.
The
one who he could end up being better than, and it's going to fully depend on, is Watson. Because he hasn't played for 2
He'll be better than
years.
Watson. Look, Kenny Pickett's going to be an MVP, all right? This is cool your Jets. He's going to get more trophies than Joe Burrow ever had.
Joe Burrow has one more trophy than he does right now.
Okay, you know what? Still, he's going to get more. Well, we'll talk again when Kenny Pickett's Super Bowl and Joe Burrow's still trying to not die in the pocket. All right, moving on to our next game. This is our game of the week. We ended up going with Chargers versus Cardinals by sheer virtue of what the hell happened.
There were no good games this week.
No, they really weren't.
No, there weren't. But this one gets out of sheer ineptitude on the part of Arizona. Keep in mind, this is a team that at one point, what the biggest lead Arizona had in this game? Okay, okay. They always firmly had them at a distance. Look, all you had to they were up by 7 points in the fourth quarter. All you had to do was just drain the clock, keep them out of the end zone, and the idiocy of Kingsbury persisted. It persevered.
If you have headphones, I apologize. Fire everybody!
That was as loud as I thought it would be. But yes, the fact that you let this collapse go down. One of the best examples of this, I think, was a play. I think it was like 3rd and 1 or 4th and 1. And you decide to throw a deep pass.
They have done it 4 times this season. 4 times this season they've done it.
And, no, this is the thing. They decided to do that rather than run the ball with James Conner, who was averaging close to 5 yards a carry. It was a frustrating. I mean, if I'm a Cardinals fan, I'm frustrated. I am extremely frustrated because you had it, y'all had it, and you pissed it away once again.
Fire everybody. That's just you just need to fire everyone at the moment. It's Kingsbury. How Kingsbury still has a job, I will never know. How fucking Kyler is even. You need to find a way to get out of this contract. I don't know how.
Too late. Too late now.
Yeah, hey, call the Broncos. Do you want to trade? I'll
take Russell Wilson. I'll take Lamar Jackson.
I'm sure this team is terrible. They are a genuinely horrifically bad team, and there isn't a solution right now.
No, right now, because again, you're locked into Kingsbury, you're locked into Kime, you're locked into Kyler for at least the next half decade.
This is a disaster. Look, we can fire the coach. We're just going to have to pay him the fuck out. But that's it. We're locked into everyone else.
Yeah, Kyler's not looking overly impressive. He looked fine in this game. Didn't look overly impressive.
There was he Kyler wasn't the worst, but he wasn't good.
Yeah, this is a case of both QBs trying to bail out their coaches. Although Herbert succeeded on that front, Kyler did not.
When it comes to the Chargers, I be very careful with what I say.
Just imagining you getting a backhand.
Yeah, no. Herbert absolutely bailed out his coach. It was funny. I watched this with Taylor, and Taylor was going for the Chargers. Obviously, she'd betrayed Arizona that day, and
I'd betray Arizona too. Not gonna lie.
All game while the Chargers coach is definitely. I've just completely blanked on his name.
Brandon Staley.
Staley has lost all courage. All this season, I'll get there. Given all the criticism he got last year, going for it on 4th down, being aggressive, he won't do it. He straight up just will not be aggressive anymore. And all game Taylor's screaming, be aggressive, be aggressive. Why aren't you going for it? Why aren't you going for it? You've got the best quarterback in the league. Da, 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 da.
And then the fourth down, and then the 2-point conversion happens, and she's screaming, "Why are you doing this? No, why are you doing this?" She hated it. She was like, "Nope, don't like this." And
I mean, like again, I would have been fine playing for overtime because I do trust the Chargers in overtime over the Cardinals, despite the fact that they won an overtime game this year. But yeah, still, I mean, like going for 2 at that point is ballsy because if it pays off, you're a genius.
Yeah.
Not? Fuck out of here.
Yeah. Look, Staley, okay. I think Staley deserves to be fired. I think at the end of the season, Staley should be fired and they should be looking for a new head coach.
It's a possibility.
My biggest reason for it is he is a defensive-minded coach and their defense in 2 years is still terrible.
Their run defense still can't stop anything, which is crazy considering.
And I get that there are injuries. I understand there are injuries, and I get that that has definitely impacted them. But man, it is bad. It's not good, and it hasn't been good for the last 2 seasons. So I would be seriously considering going out and getting an offensive-minded coach. Or if you weren't going to get an offensive-minded coach, if you want another defensive-minded coach, hey, Dan Quinn is right there.
You'd rather have Dan Quinn than Brandon Staley?
Right now, yeah. You need that defense is bad.
That defense is bad. But I don't trust Dan Quinn to run a fucking calculator.
Look, the one who I would be if I could get anyone, it's Peyton, and I think Peyton is going to go to the Chargers. I think that is the most likely outcome next season. I think Sean Payton is going to be the Chargers head coach. That being said, at the moment, I'd be looking at someone like Dan Quinn. I'd be looking at the enemy. I'd be looking like there are people I would be looking at instead of Staley because I just think Staley. I like Staley, but I think he has I think he is a shell of who he was last year, and he was a better coach last year.
I think they'll give him the benefit of the doubt this year. If they kind of falter again last year, then next year, then they'll fire him. Mike, you had tech issues. Any thoughts on this game before we move on?
Yeah, I mean, you guys pretty much summed up everything that needed to be said about this game. It'll be interesting to see because the Cardinals, like as weird as it is saying that a week 13 bye is good for a team, the Cardinals need this bye.
Yeah, they do. They really do. All right, moving on to our next game, we got the Raiders versus the Seahawks, a team who is vastly overachieving expectations, and a team that is also, again, they want to fire their coach, but their owner's broke, so they can't do it.
2 words.
What?
Josh Jacobs.
Holy, the Raiders right now are really regretting declining his 5th-year option. Like they're really regretting it.
And if I'm Josh Jacobs, I ain't signing an extension with them.
No, I'm going somewhere else.
He's going to Buffalo.
The most in-demand running back in the league next season, and I'm going somewhere else.
No, Saquon's going to be in demand next year.
So, yeah, Giants will re-sign him, and they'll pay a pretty penny for him.
I mean, yeah, he'll probably go back to the Giants. I don't think
he'll stay with the Giants because they have never disrespected him.
That's true.
Raiders disrespected Jacobs. By going, we're not taking your 5th-year option. That's disrespectful.
Well, the thing is, like he's like the only first-round pick they've had in the last 3 years that's worked,
right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of crazy that they didn't give him the option. But he's playing like, oh damn, I'm gonna get my contract somewhere, if not from you, somewhere else. I do want to highlight this was one play though from the opening drive of the Raiders offense. Derek Carr throws this pick, and then he got this dude running from the sideline, just going to block people. And the funny thing about that, there was no flag on that play. They just got away with it. I watched that shit go down. That shit was crazy. We're just like, what are you doing?
Oh my god.
But yeah,
no, I thought. Look, the Raiders are still a bad football team. They're a very bad football team. The Seahawks, it's starting to turn into midnight. It's about 11:30. You know, it's starting to get to midnight, and
this Cinderella story is starting to come to a bit of an end. And
Yeah.
like I said, I don't think they're making the playoffs.
They're starting to become the team we thought they were going to be at the beginning of the year.
Yeah. So like, going back to why I think all the four NFC teams. So here's what the Seahawks have. They go Rams, 49ers, Chiefs, Jets, Panthers, Rams. They have to lose 4 of them.
Possible.
I've got them splitting Rams and then losing to 49ers, Chiefs, and Jets.
Well, and interesting about this game is how the Raiders defense able to respond to the rushing attack of Seattle. Because like K9's been great. Ken's been great. Again, non-factor in this game. They had to rely on Geno Smith's arm to get the job done tonight. Jacob's favorite receiver, DK Metcalf, was their leader for the night.
He was very good. He was good for the night. Like I said, like the Seahawks didn't play terribly. They were just the Raiders just got under their skin. It was just weird. Like the rush defense wasn't good.
Yeah,
and Jacobs just was able to run all over him.
Well, conversely, looking at because this game did go in overtime, the play to end overtime was one of the most baffling things I've seen this season. How the fuck do you allow an 80-yard run in overtime?
I don't know. That one was baffling to me. That one made no sense, and I have absolutely no idea how that happened at all.
Yeah, I mean, it was necessary. I mean, I don't know about necessary. I feel like the Raiders season is still done, but still a good win for morale. And maybe Derek Carr will be crying into his playbook again this time.
Derek, you could tell at the end of Derek Carr needed that. He needed that win, and that was a big win for him personally and that team, which was good. Because I don't think anyone dislikes Derek Carr. I think Derek Carr is a very and I think I think there's a chance
Derek Carr to me is the most underrated QB in the NFL right now. Like that, you look at him. Like that dude has never had a bad season. But like Vegas just wants him dead for some reason.
I think he's going to be on another team next year. Like I do think they're going to move off him, and I think he will go somewhere else, and I think he will light it up and become a. I think next season he could very much do Matthew Stafford, where it's like, oh shit, he goes on a team that's somewhat competent, and he looks incredible.
Oh, well, speaking of Stafford stomping ground, let's talk about the Rams taking on the Chiefs. This is a game that at the first of all, this was game of the week, which I think was a boring decision. Secondly, this is a game that we thought at the beginning of the year, like, man, this could be a Super Bowl preview for this year. No, this was just a big old Kansas City sized ass kicking.
We got one half of it correct.
Yeah.
Most likely, but damn, the Rams suck. The Rams are a bad football team.
If it wasn't for Houston, I think they would be the worst outright team roster in football right now. Houston exists. That's the only reason that they aren't the outright worst.
Yeah. Like you look like the Rams are also getting like super banged up. Like Allen Robinson went on IR; he's out for the year. Not he was doing much, but still, like that's still a big loss. So like now they have back Van Jefferson and their leading receiver.
That's the number one. I like Van Jefferson, but it's him going against number one DBs is going to be that's bad news.
Stafford's still out, so they had to rely on Bryce Perkins again.
I don't think Stafford should play for the rest of the year.
I agree.
I think if the NFL wants to be taken seriously with concussions, Stafford should sit out for the rest of the year.
Agreed 100%.
That's two really bad ones. It won't happen. Sorry.
Because you're not going to run it back at this point, so may as well sit in the first of the year.
So you may, and I think if I'm the NFL, I'm going to the Rams owner and saying, "Hey, it'd really help us out if you did this." Mm-hmm. Look, you're not going to get anything from it. Like, there's no benefit, but it will be a really good PR move. Of, hey, look how we're taking player health seriously. Mm-hmm. I mean, they're not, but it can look like they are. Because that's the type of thing where it's a nothing game at this point. So try and maybe look like you're doing more than you actually are.
So something I'm consistently impressed with on the side of Kansas City is just the way they spread the ball around. They had 10 different players catch at least one pass this game. Just speaks like the deadliness and the efficiency of that offense. Why?
Mahomes,
Good.
Mahomes is just Mahomes, and I'm over it. Like it sucks because it's not fair because he is so good. Like he is such a good player, and I enjoy watching him play. And I really like Patrick Mahomes. I'm just fucking over it. It's just
all logic.
Like he's so good.
I mean, like
to me, he's MVP.
He did have a no-look interception, which is a choice, but it ended up mattering.
But at that, like, here's the thing. Like, I know, and people harp on those, and it's like, guys, it's the fourth quarter. They don't care anymore. Like,
you can afford it. It doesn't matter.
At that point in the game, they don't really care. Like, they're just like, hey, let's go out and have fun because we can have fun because we're playing the worst team in the league outside of Texans.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know. It's just fun to watch him play. I really love watching Mahomes play. I'm just really over Patrick Mahomes being this damn good.
Well, also because your girlfriend's a Chargers fan too, so that's
that too. But like,
that probably doesn't help.
Yeah, but at the same time, like I'm over it.
No, yeah, I get it. The Rams are now being held together by Bobby Wagner and Jalen Ramsey and Aaron Donald. Is Aaron Donald still playing?
No, he's done. He got injured as well.
He got injured. Being held together solely by Bobby Wagner. He's
out this week.
Bobby Wagner's out?
No, Donald's out. Donald's out this week.
But either way, like this team is being held together by just very loose threads. And the thing, we talked about it this week. They can't rebuild anything in the offseason. So
they don't know. Like I said, they went all in. Like I said last time I was on here, they went all in. Hug that ring every night for the next decade because you ain't getting another one anytime soon.
It's true.
That's like you're where the Broncos were in 2015.
Mm-hmm.
You got a ring.
It's a fair comparison.
Was it worth it? Was the ring worth it? Worth the next 5 years of utter meaninglessness and devastation? Because that's where you are looking. You guys are going to, there is a chance the Chargers become the LA team.
No.
No. Okay. Sorry. If Herbert actually lives up to the hype, if they get Peyton and Herbert does start living up to the hype, and this becomes
he's living up to the hype. They're still not LA's team.
Yeah, okay, but that's because the Rams decided to go all in on one thing. See, you've got the difference. The Rams went all in and got the ring, and that is a deserved ring, and they're going to hang on to that. But if the Chargers have build up their team through the draft and don't go all in, but just do it the old-fashioned way and win, say, 2 or 3 rings over 10 years,
maybe we'll see.
Chargers are going to be the team of LA.
I mean, but again, it's the Chargers. We all know how this goes. We all know how this goes.
No, that's fair.
Next game up, in hindsight, one I probably should have put earlier because this game was fucking miserable, is the Saints versus the 49ers. How bad was this game? Both teams totaled for 13 points, and one of those teams didn't contribute anything.
I watched maybe 30 seconds of this game. Maybe.
Yeah.
I don't really have anything to say other than, God, the Saints suck.
My question is, why is Andy Dalton still playing?
Yeah.
Because I'm guessing because he is, they just do not trust, what's his name?
Jameis.
Over this?
Or maybe Jameis did something. It is Jameis. Did something in the locker room, and they're just like, nope.
But this game is also home to our not stunks player of the week, Alvin Kamara of the New Orleans Saints.
Didn't show up.
No,
and he dropped 2 touchdowns.
He stayed home. He dropped 2 touchdowns. Didn't even have 20 yards on the ground. He was outrushed by Andy Dalton and Taysom Hill. He's one of the better backs in the league. He was just a non-factor in this game, which is partly why they put up 0.
They were in the red zone. They were in the red zone twice and fumbled the ball both times.
Consequently, though, San Francisco, on the other hand, not looking as impressive as we've seen them look in the past couple of weeks. Not sure if like they were slumming it or the Saints defense is like sneakily good. Betting on them slumming it, but yeah, remember how we were saying last week how the Niners were looking like the best NFC team? Not this week.
I still think the Niners are the best NFC team. I think this was just we're playing the Saints. We don't care. Because from memory they've got a team next week they're playing that they were looking ahead to.
We'll get into that later. I can't remember.
Oh yeah, that's what. Okay, who they're playing next week? They were looking ahead to next week. That's why.
But yeah, bottom line, Saints. They're not doing well. They're not playing good football. Again, I know, Andy. I know. I guess who's benched, but just put James back in there. Honestly, at this point, you're better off with James. Put him back in there.
Just go with Hill.
Or start Taysom Hill. What am I saying? Start Taysom Hill.
Yeah.
All right. Next thing we're talking about Sunday Night Football. We had the Packers taking on the Eagles. A historic game for a lot of reasons. First of which, Jalen Hurts now become the fourth QB in NFL history, both pass for 150 yards and run for 150 yards in the same game, joining the likes of Michael Vick, Colin Kaepernick, and Lamar Jackson. Secondly, he is the first Green Bay allowed to become the first player in history to both run and pass for 125 yards in the first half.
Yep.
They had no answers for Jalen Hurts.
Or the run game in general. Like, Philadelphia just ran roughshot all over them the entire game.
They had, I think, like 350 plus rushing yards.
Yeah.
That was the best rushing game in franchise history in like 80 years.
This game was awful. The first quarter was awesome. The first quarter was like, holy shit, we got a game on it. Oh no, okay, we're done. No, we don't. This game was terrible. Jalen Hurts is going to be the MVP. I think Jalen Hurts is going to be MVP, and even though I personally would give it to Mahomes, I think Hurts will win it, and the reason is because he keeps putting up these sort of records, and he's going to be in the conversation more because people are over Patrick Mahomes being as good as he is.
I agree with that.
But it's not. But I think at the same time, Jalen Hurts is fucking where the fuck he's become like one of the best quarterbacks in the league. Like, who the fuck saw that coming?
No, he's been very good. Like, he has been very, very good. And yes, I just think of you take Jalen Hurts and you put another quarterback in that team. I don't think they fall off the cliff the way that you take Mahomes out of the Chiefs fall off a cliff.
Right. 100%.
Like, that's why I can't give it to Tua. I can't give it to why I can't give it to Tua, because you take Tua out of that team and you put, say, a Derek Carr, a Garoppolo,
we saw what happened when we took Tua out of that team. They're not good.
Okay,
well, they were
you put in a quarterback who is somewhat competent.
But we saw that Teddy Bridge didn't do anything.
We got hurt.
Teddy's not a starter. Teddy's not a starting quarterback.
You said competent. He was competent.
Okay, you put in a starting quarterback, a Derek Carr, a Jimmy Garoppolo, like someone of that ilk into that Dolphins team, and that Dolphins record is probably the same, if not, it may be a little worse.
Maybe.
So that's why I can't give it to Tua, because he's not when they've got Tyreek Hill. I think Tyreek Hill is the most valuable player on that team, not Tua. That being said, Hurts I think will win it just because he's going to get the media coverage, and Mahomes doesn't have another national televised game, whereas the Eagles do most likely have another one.
Well, let's talk about the other side. Obviously, Christian Watson continues to defy all expectations.
What I do like is the fact that it looks like Aaron Rodgers starting to trust Christian Watson more than he had in the past couple of weeks.
Mm-hmm.
And the other thing is, when Rodgers did get hurt at the end of the game, Jordan Love looked the best that he has in any NFL action he's had so far.
Managed to produce points this time. That was the big shock.
The Love boat needs to arrive. It's here. It needs to start.
I think so too.
Aaron Rodgers is done for the year. And hey, for his ego, say you're injured. Just say that. You're not getting benched. You're not any of that. But they need to figure out what they have with Love, because the biggest reason they need to figure out what they have with Love is they've got to know, are we giving him his 5th-year option?
Right. As I say, he's in year 3 already. So yeah,
They need to figure that out.
Yeah.
That is the question that you need to figure out. And it's not because, we want to keep him. No, you can then trade him and get some freaking capital that you can then use to help Rodgers next year. Rodgers needs to. Sorry, this is an ego trip on Rodgers, and it is a massive criticism that I will have of him. Is he needs to look at the betterment of the actual team and go, yes, I will sit. I will sit for the rest of the season because this team needs to know what they have with Love so that they can figure out, hey, maybe we can get something for him next season.
Right.
Yeah, no, absolutely. The thing is, like, Jordan Love was able to put it back within arm's reach. All the defense had to do was get a stop, and maybe the Packers had a chance. They failed.
Yeah. And like Love and that pass to Watson that he dropped was really nice pass.
It was
like
gorgeous pass.
It was like, holy, you should have caught that. Like that was like, it was good defense. I'm not going to like completely kill Watson for it, but like it was good defense but damn, like that wasn't on Love for when they had to go for the field goal instead. Like that could have very easily been, made it a touchdown and made this a 3-point game instead of a 7-point game. So
yeah, not very good. It's just swung the pendulum back in the other direction, but it's how it goes. Packers might be watching the playoffs from the couch for the first time in. Well, the Packers didn't make the playoffs.
18.
It's been a while
when McCarthy got fired.
Yeah,
oh, that's right. They didn't make it that year, but yeah, been a bit. But yeah. Might not be going so well for you Packers fans. I know Bears fans are salivating the prospect of that. Maybe not for long, but right now they are. Moving on to our last game of the week, Monday Night Football. I got the Pittsburgh Steelers taking on the Indianapolis Colts. I'm just gonna say this right now. This was a bona fide heart attack game for Steelers fans.
Oh, absolutely.
I'm watching and this is like, we're up by 13. We're blowing it. We're losing. Oh my God, are we gonna lose the Jeff Saturday led Colts? Nope. Thank you.
This was a wild game to watch. It really was. Like it was unpredictable in a good way. Like there's good football games, there's bad football games, and then there's bad football games that are fun to watch. And that's kind of where this one fell to me. It's like this was not a good game, but it was entertaining.
Yeah, I think, and I wish I messaged you about this, but the drive that I think perfectly summed up this game was Matt Ryan almost throws an interception. Then Matt Ryan throws an interception on literally the next play.
Yep.
And then Pickett starts on their own Colts 40-yard line. He runs 20 yards, then gets sacked 15.
Sacked again.
Sacked another 15, and they have to punt. I was like, that sums up this game.
Yeah.
Just incompetence all around.
We really do need a new offensive play caller. Again, I'll continue to follow it. I'll take Matt Mexico at this point. Just get Canada out of here. I'll take Matt Mexico. I'll take Matt Qatar. I'll take Matt England. Somebody other than Matt Canada. But I will say Kenny Pickett had a pretty good game.
He played competent for the most part.
He's getting better. Like I said, he's not going to be the next Joe Burrow. He's going to be better than Joe Burrow. Watch. He's going to lead this team in the promised land. Something I'm very concerned about going forward. Because about my boy Najee Harris. I think it kind of dawned on me what the problem is with his game this year and why he's not putting up the stats that he used to. It's the fact that he's trying to be like a Le'Veon Bell, trying to make the elusive, shake
taking
out.
an extra step when he should just run straight forward.
Dude, Najee Harris is 6'1", 240. Like, you need to be you're not an elusive back. You need to be Derrick Henry.
Yeah.
Use your weight, use your power. And I think if he does that, he'll be a top 5 back in the league. But right now, Yeah,
Well, it won't be until they rebuild that offensive line too. I mean,
that's true.
it's
Yeah.
not
Our
entirely
offensive line is a
unknown.
problem. Our offensive line is a huge problem, and I am praying we take a tackle with our first
There's
pick.
zero doubt in my mind that that's what Pittsburgh
you're
does.
you're gonna go full offensive line. The one little concern in this game that I thought was, oh, that's interesting. TJ Watt disappeared for most of the game against that Colts O-line. That's a little concerning.
A little bit, but you know what? It's TJ Watt, and then you get a chance for my other boy, Alex Highsmith, to look like a stud. Got a strip sack, got a forced fumble. That dude was killing it. My other boy, George Pickens. My God, I love this man so much. Again, he's going to be the next Justin Jefferson. Calling it right now. He's gonna be great. He's gonna be a stud. He's gonna be a staple organization for the next half decade before he runs off out of town. But this is a win that we really needed to get. But I do need to call. Look, I know this is first time at the job. I do need to take Jeff Saturday a little bit to task. Well, I mean, I'm praising him for it, but I need to take him to task as a fan of football. The dude he was in. All he had to do was get into range for a touchdown. In 2 minutes, he had all 3 timeouts, and for some reason decided to not use them.
Yeah, but they didn't run out. Okay, I know. I saw everyone jumping up and down about this. They had a turnover on downs. They didn't run out of clock.
No. Like before that.
Oh, okay, yeah, fair enough. Like I don't know.
Up to that point, he was not using his timeouts.
Yeah, but I kind of looked at it like it's not like they needed an extra clock. They turned it over on downs. They needed their offense to do something.
No. Like it was prior to that, where like he kept letting the clock run rather than calling a timeout.
Yeah, fair. No, I kill other coaches for it, so that's fair. I'm just, yeah. He like I said, he is an inexperienced head coach.
Yeah,
you don't say.
Yeah.
Like I said, only hacks was Jeff Saturday. Looking at you, Josh McDaniels. Oh, but that's going to do it for the week that was. We now move forward to the week that is week 13, as well as our segment Stunks or Not Stunks. On a bye this week, we got the Cardinals and the Panthers. Panthers riding high, going in by week with a win. Who saw that coming? Thursday Night Football, we got the Bills versus the Patriots in Foxborough. So, yeah, Josh Allen better take his Viagra. That's all I'm going to say on that.
I think they take this one fair. Like, the Patriots don't match up well against the Bills right now. It's not going to be a blowout, but I think the Bills pretty handily take this one.
What's the weather like? Hang on.
It's going to be cold.
Yeah, cold's not what I'm worried about. Is it snowing?
Right.
Okay. 4% chance with 24-mile-an-hour wind.
Okay. Seems worse.
Okay. Sorry, 14%. Sorry, 14 mile-hour winds and 21% chance of snowing. Okay. That's not too bad. I can take that.
All right. Okay. So the player I'll throw out this one, he was the best receiver for the Bills last week. I'm going to throw out some Isaiah McKenzie.
I'm going to say it's going to be a Gabe Davis week, so I'm going to say not stonks on McKenzie this week.
Yeah, I'm going to say not stonks.
So you're all stonks on Gabe Davis this week.
More so than McKenzie, yeah.
All right. Up next, Sunday Night Football. My boy, the Pittsburgh Steelers, taking on the Atlanta Falcons.
This is a tough one.
This really is, actually. This is a tough one. I'm going to leave. I'm going to say Falcons. With absolutely no rhyme or reason.
I think this is another one of those games that can come down to the last minute, and Younghoe Koo will come and kick a 55-yarder at the end to somehow win, a very low-scoring game. Yeah, I kind of lean the Falcons myself, but if the Steelers win, that is not an upset or anything like that. This is just too close to call. Going to go with the home field advantage.
Okay, well, you're both wrong. We're finally putting up 20 points on offense, and you trust Mariota to beat this defense? Hell no. Pittsburgh Steelers all day. Not even gonna do. You all know the drill. Steelers stunks. Falcons not stunks. Doesn't matter who. Up next, Packers versus Bears. Now, 3 certainties in life: death, taxes, Aaron Rodgers walking the Soldier Field and making the Bears his bitch.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a blowout.
Will it be Aaron Rodgers?
I know. Now, here's the thing. I know we mentioned the prospect of Rodgers being benched, but I feel like he might just play this game out just to spite Chicago.
Look, this was the one that before he got injured, this was the one that I had always said this will be his last game for the season, because I felt it's the week before the bye and it will be his, hey, go kill the Bears
one last time.
And then go kill the Bears one last time, and then we'll bench you for Jordan Love to put in Love for the rest of the season. Then he got injured. And I know he's saying the injury's not bad, but I still think that Love could end up playing at some, if not all, of this game. Even that being said, though, I've got, no matter who they play, the Packers are winning this.
Yeah, the Packers are easy on this one. No questions asked. Packers.
Yeah, sorry. PLD, Peggy, look. I know the Justin Fields is doing great. You're looking at an upswing, but it's time for your comeback to reality. And yes, the Packers are going to win this one.
Fields is still injured.
I know, but I'm saying
even if he plays,
I'm saying they're on the upswing because of Fields. Yeah. But yeah, you're about to come back to reality right now.
Yeah.
Up next, Battle of the Cats. We got the Jaguars versus the Lions. Oh, I forgot for this game. Considering that the best receiver is now out, I'll do this one. I'll say since Love might be playing, Christian Watson.
Stonks.
Yeah, he's going to catch 3 balls and one of them is going to be a touchdown. I'll say stonks.
All right. Next one up, the Battle of the Cats, Jaguars versus Lions. 2 teams playing with abandon. One coming off a win, one coming off of a defeat that wasn't that bad, if we're being honest.
This could be a wild game. There could be some crazy shit in this game.
There could be.
I'm going to say Jags.
I'm going to go Lions on this one. I think that the home game, they put up a big fight against the Bills. If they play the way they played against the Bills, they can beat Jacksonville.
This is, to me, a good backup game after the type of win that they just got after the Ravens. It's all right. Go show out who you really are. Now, if the Jags lose this game, it's okay. We know who you still are. Like the Ravens game was a miracle. They go out and beat the Lions well. It's like, all right, cool. You're actually a good team, or you're starting to become a good team.
All right. Then I'm gonna throw out for this one. The man, T-Law.
Stonks. I think
absolutely against the Detroit defense. Yeah, he's gonna have a big game.
All right. Next game we're talking about, we got the Jets, Jets versus the Vikings.
Who would have thought, like when this, the schedule came out, that A, this game would have big implications, and B, that like it's looking like it's going to be close. Like this game is another one that you could flip a coin on this one, honestly.
Speaking of the coin flip,
it's finally off. It's finally off.
Well, first of all, let us consult the coin. They did have a loss last week against Chicago. They predict a win this week against Minnesota. Now, the question is the coin going to correct its past mistake?
I believe it is. So wait, no, as in, I think it will correct its past mistake, but it won't be this week. It's next week against the Bills.
Okay, so do you think it's going to? What does it think against the Bills? Oh, it's a win.
They beat the Bills.
Okay. So you do think that it's good that they're going to win this week?
Yes, I think they will win.
You're putting your faith in the coin.
Sorry, I think next week they'll lose against the Bills.
Oh yeah, and I know what you mean. Like I got it. All right.
All right. I really like this line as well. 2.5 points for the Jets.
Yeah, I think that the Jets are one of the only teams right now. This is going to be the biggest test Justin Jefferson has all season with the combination of Sauce and DJ Reed. They are one of the few teams that can contain them. Minnesota's going to have to rely on Adam Thielen a lot to stay in this game. The run game has to establish itself, which last week, Montgomery did better than expected against the Jets defensive line. But I think what it's going to come down to is I think it's the last possession of the game. I'm going to go with an act of faith and say the Jets, but I'm not confident.
All right, so I'm gonna throw out two stonks names for this one. First of which is going to be Justin Jefferson going up against Sauce Gardner.
I don't like it. Yeah, he's going to get his catches. It's Justin Jefferson, but it's not going to be a statistical.
Now, last one, the important one. Mike motherfucking White.
This is the Vikings defense that is not very good in the secondary. I like Mike White to both Elijah Moore and Garrett Wilson this week, and maybe even Conklin.
All right, so I guess bottom line, what we're saying here.
Flat power.
All right, next game, NFC East football. We got the Commanders versus the Giants.
I'm riding with them. I got the Commies in this one.
As I said, I got Commanders on this one. I think the next one will be Giants because this one is. I'm pretty sure this one is in.
It's in Jersey.
This was in Jersey.
Okay, sorry. Then I got Giants. I've got them splitting, but
home and home.
Home and home. Yeah. So I've got
I
Giants.
just think right now that the defense on the Commies is they've proven effective against the run. They're gonna shut down Saquon, and they're gonna make Daniel Jones throw. I'm not intimidated by Darius Slayton in this game. I got the Commies taking this fairly.
I'm gonna try that. So you think Saquon's not stonks this week?
Yeah, I don't like him against this defense.
No, I'm saying he stonks.
Okay, so we got one stonks, one not stonks. All right. Next game up, we got Titans versus the Eagles. Two teams where running the ball is the primary method of destruction.
I think it's going to come down to which defense holds up better against the other offense. And to me, that's the Eagles in this game. I don't think that Tannehill is against the secondary there. There's nothing about Tennessee that intimidates me against that Eagles team. Whereas the Eagles have, they can shuffle their game plan to whatever they need to do against the Titans. The Titans won't be able to make the adjustments. I got the Eagles by at least a touchdown.
Oh, see, I've got Eagles, but by less than a touchdown. I think this is going to come down to a field goal. I really like Titans at 5.5 points. I really like Titans at 5.5 points.
All right. So I'm going to throw him out. The King, Derrick Henry.
Stonks. I think he'll.
Yeah,
play.
I don't bet against Derrick Henry at this point. I don't care who he's playing. He's kind of one of those matchup proofs. He's matchup proof.
Probably through a wall.
Yeah.
All right. Next game up, we got the Broncos versus the Ravens. Again, another game we thought would be, like a playoff type thing, but now this could get ugly. This is a get right game for the Ravens.
The Ravens have to win.
100%.
The Ravens have to win this. If this is the game that, could you imagine that this is the Russell Wilson get right game?
Oh my god!
I would again, like as someone who's for division rival, I would cackle.
So here, all right, I want to ask though, just because I'm the betting guy, 8.5 points for the Ravens.
Ooh.
I know. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. I don't like it either. I'm saying that this is stay the hell away from gambling on this game.
Don't touch this from a gambling perspective.
It's tempting. I don't think it's like implausible. I don't feel good about it.
I know. Yeah. Like the 8.5 points. I'm like, I'd take the Broncos with that at the moment, but I'm staying the hell away from that.
All right.
I think Justin Tucker kicks four field goals in this game.
Again, that defense is so good, but I think the defense has given up. So, yeah, I ain't touching that spread.
Lamar Jackson.
Again, it's another player. Like if you're looking at a pure statistical standpoint, he's going to put up numbers. I don't think he's going to get a lot of time. Like it's not going to be. He's not going to get in the end zone very much, especially with these receivers the way they are. He's going to win the game, but it's not going to be him putting the points on the board. It's going to be Tucker.
Yeah. They're going to win by 12 field goals. All right. Okay, well, now, hold on. Now, here's my question. Another question. Will the Broncos put up 16 points?
Oh, I love that bet. I'll take that one.
No, I'm gonna say. Actually, yeah, I'm gonna say they put. Actually, I don't think they're gonna go over 16 points.
They're gonna score exactly 16.
Are they gonna score exactly 16?
Oh
again?
God, no, I don't think so. No, I think they'll go over.
All right, I'm gonna say they're gonna score 16. That's gonna be a new Broncos question. Like every game, will they score 16 points?
Yes.
All right. Up next. This is the high-profile game of the week. Deshaun Watson returning to Houston.
I am just all I want. I know that the Browns are going to win this game. I just want to see him get hit hard once. Just get leveled one time.
I want him to suck. I want him to this game to be terrible. And like, look, I know he's going to come back and be good next year. I know it, but he hasn't played in 2 seasons.
Agreed.
I want to see him be bad just to hear the commentary like, oh, did the Browns make a mistake? I just want to hear that for a week of just did the Browns make this huge, colossal, big mistake? So for that reason and that reason alone, I'm taking the Texans because I just want it to happen so badly.
Yeah,
that's a bold choice. I'm going the Browns. I think it's going to be a big Nick Chubb game, in my opinion. I think, especially with Boston getting reacclimated, they're going to run the ball a lot.
But thinking with your head and not with your hearts. Deshaun Watson.
Oh, no, not Stunks in this game.
God, no. He's going to be terrible. He is going to be terrible. He hasn't played in 2 years.
Yeah,
but he's playing a team that's he's playing the Texans.
I know, but he hasn't played in 2 years.
I just want to see
and not only is he not played in 2 years, he's on a brand new team.
Right.
Like he's gonna have to learn a brand new system, brand new team. Like
and he wasn't even able to practice till last week.
Yeah, he's not going to be a good at all until next season.
Watch you say this and you'll like 400 yards.
He's Stonks player of the week
because I'm saying it, and that's
player of the week. Deshaun Watson. All right, up next. NFC West football, Seahawks versus Rams. I'm obligated to say Seahawks.
It's Seahawks and not even close.
Damn. All right. So it's set. Okay. So I've got Seahawks as well. 7.5 points.
I take it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I take that.
You gonna eat 7.5 points?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, easy. I got the Seahawks, but that they win by at least 10.
Okay.
Yeah, like the Rams haven't looked that impressive, but
no.
I mean the Seahawks aren't looking great, but the Rams looked like somehow worse.
Right.
And I don't think Stafford's playing again this week.
No, Stafford's not.
He's not.
Yeah, Bryce Perkins back under center. No. I'm gonna throw this one out because Jacob's here. DK Metcalf.
This stonks. Absolutely. Again,
like
we'll never ever bet against him ever again.
Well, not now. All right. Up next, we got Mike McDaniel taking on his former team, with the Dolphins taking on the 49ers.
This is game of the week.
100%. I was about to say the same thing.
Extremely excited to watch this game. I'm going the 49ers, but this is a coin flip. I don't know who's going to win this game. I hate this line. I hate it with a passion at 3.5 points. 3.5 points. I hate it. I hate it. I ain't touching that with a 10. That's perfectly priced. I am not touching that with a 10-foot pole.
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with you on this. I think the 49ers win a close game. This is another whoever has the ball last wins.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. And then we're gonna throw out for this one. I'll throw them out there. Tua
stonks.
I think so too. Because both of these teams are going to be coming out at each other, and he's going to have to be stonks. So yeah, Tua's going to have a good game.
All right. Game that was I think flexed out of Sunday Night Football.
No. This week didn't change.
Not this week.
It's the week after.
The week after.
Yeah.
My bad. Sorry. Bengals
they
versus
didn't
Chiefs,
flex that one out.
rematch of the AFC Championship. Can this be flexed into Sunday Night Football? Oh my God!
It should have been. I'm genuine. To me, the only reason it wasn't was because
Mahomes just played it.
because Chiefs were playing next week.
Yeah.
And but then they flexed Chiefs out. So or CBS said we want it. It's
All
one or the other. It was.
But yeah, Bengals versus rematch of the AFC Championship game. You know what? If Tom Cruise comes back to the intro for this game, this is game of the week. I'll say it right now.
Look, I'm really excited for this game as well. This is all going to depend on whether or not Chase actually gets activated for me. Because right now he is slated to come back, but hasn't officially yet. So, with Chase, I'm going to say that the Bengals pull this off, but I don't love this game either.
I never ever want to be in a situation where I'm playing Patrick Mahomes with a chip on his shoulder, and he has a chip on his shoulder after the playoffs. And
Yeah,
that's a little terrifying. I got the Chiefs,
But I feel like that we might get Patrick Mahomes' hero ball, which is how they end up losing these games.
yeah, but he hasn't done a lot of hero ball this season. He's been a
That's
lot
true.
more controlled, but again, he hasn't had that big a tough competition.
Yeah, like the thing, he's never had to do hero ball this season.
Yeah,
That's true.
like they've just been really good this year, and I don't like that O line. I'm saying Chiefs, but I'm going to say Bengals with absolutely no confidence whatsoever.
What's the line on this one?
2.5 points.
Yeah.
That one I'm not touching. It's not worth it.
Not at all.
I'm touching this game though.
All right. Now for this one, I'm gonna throw this man out. I'm gonna throw Mr. Travis Kelce on the table.
I never am betting against him. He stonks every game.
No.
All right.
Dude's a wide receiver masquerading as a tight end.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. What do you think? Shannon Sharp. All right. Whatever. Next one we got, oh boy, Chargers versus Raiders.
I am putting all the money in the world. This is so badly priced; it's not even funny. Chargers win this. Chargers win this, and they're 1.5 point dogs.
1.5.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
it.
So
Give me some of that action.
1.5 point favorite.
Yeah, no, can't be a sense of that.
1.5 point favorite. So you've just got to eat 1.5 points against the Raiders.
I love it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Chargers take control of this. If Mike Williams, if he comes back, especially, if they have their full arsenal of weapons, 100%. And even without him, I think they get it.
Yeah.
All right. Considering he's up against this defense, Josh Jacobs.
Josh Jacobs is the one thing I'm worried about.
He's gonna have a nice day.
But all season, even when they play against terrible rush defenses, Josh McDaniels doesn't know how to use him, so not that worried.
That's what we're saying stunks.
I am going to say stonks, but I don't think he.
He's not going to win the game because of it, but it still stunks.
Yeah, I mean, he's going to put up numbers, but it's not going to win the game. That's a fair way to put it.
Sunday Night Football. This kind of sums it up. The Colts versus the Cowboys. Why are we doing this?
I'm going to look for something to go see at AMC on A-list.
Can we find something?
This is a Jerry wanted X amount of Sunday night games, and they haven't had enough, which is weird because I would have been moving the Eagles game in 2 weeks.
Right.
Yeah. I so want the Colts to win, but I don't think it's going to happen.
It's the Cowboys, and I got the Cowboys easy.
Yeah, Cowboys easy. 11.5 points.
That I don't know about.
Yeah,
that's
kind of stretching it. One I'll throw out there. Who do I throw out for this one? Let's go Michael Pittman.
Not Stonks.
Yeah, he's gonna have Diggs on him. I don't like him.
All right, now it's funny enough. Having Diggs on you was like a godsend last season.
Right?
Not anymore. Actually, I'll throw out one more. I'll throw CeeDee Lamb.
I like him in this game.
Yeah, I do too.
All right,
I like CeeDee in this. Yeah.
And lastly, Monday Night Football, we got the Saints versus the Buccaneers.
I need another movie to see.
Right? Oh, wait, no. Manny Katz is back.
Oh, thank goodness. Good God. I'm going to go with the Bucs. they're just slightly less bad, but.
Yeah, I mean, despite the fact that this I think it's gonna be the year the real broken curse. I mean, they already beat the Saints earlier this year, but yeah, I feel like if they're gonna sweep them this year, but because the Saints are surprisingly awful, like alarmingly. They're another one of like the most disappointing teams this season.
I don't understand why everyone had them so high. Sorry, like you just lost Sean Payton as a coach, and you don't have a quarterback. Like I never understood
because Jameis, cause like in the small thing about Jameis we got last season, he was good.
Again, that was Peyton. You lost Sean Payton as your coach. Like that's a huge deal. I do not understand why people were so high on Saints.
All right, so I'm gonna throw out there for this one. You know what? Because we talked about him earlier, Mike Evans.
I think I like a bounce back game for Evans. I'll take Stonks.
Yeah, I say Stonks.
All right, that's Stonks for Evans, and that's gonna conclude our show tonight. Jacob, where people find you?
You guys can find me over at Twitter and Letterboxd everywhere at Jacob Blunden. I have my new podcast, Lights on a Screen, where we're talking all things new releases. This week we're going to be doing Christmas movies and Violent Night.
All right,
Mike,
where people find you?
So you can find me, all of us now, every Tuesday night here on Left Side, Strong Side. You can find me on Wednesday nights on What the Show podcast. For the remainder of the year, I did want to point this out. We are going to be donating all Streamlabs to Josh Estes and his family to help out with all of their medical bills, with everything that's going on with the Estes family right now. So if anybody can support whatsoever, we really greatly appreciate that. And keep your eyes open because we are filming something very, very fun this week with Moose Haas and Benny Hamlin. So keep your eyes open for that.
And you find me on Twitter and Instagram at Chance_91. Check out my other podcast, Doors by Chance. Our episode on what just dropped. Was it Thinner? No. Yeah, it was Thinner. Dropped pretty recently. We're going to be doing E.T. in the next couple of days. And find us here every Tuesday on the PJ Campbell Network. Thank you for watching, and we will see you next week.
Holy shit.